Hey, Jen Banks here. This is the podcast A is for Adversity, and I'm going to talk about being more intentional about our thoughts and our goals so we can make our lives happen instead of letting life happen to us. I couldn't think of a clever way to introduce my introduction, so I'll just jump right into it. I graduated from Utah State University. Go Aggies! I majored in elementary education and early childhood education. It was also there that I met and married my husband, Jared. And after we graduated, we moved to Boise, Idaho. He went to law school for 3 years, and I was an elementary school teacher. I taught second grade and kindergarten. After he graduated in May of this year, we moved back in with family, and we are just kind of in a limbo phase. My husband is looking for a job, and I'm just living my best life until I reach my long-term goal, which is to have a preschool in our basement. But we kind of need a house first. So we're saving up money and spending time with family and just doing the best that we can. I am very passionate about learning and sharing knowledge, which is one of the reasons that I started this podcast. It's definitely a work that I feel called to do, and I love it. We have a 2-year-old son named Rowan. He is quite the little monkey. And we also have a newborn on the way. He will be here by the time this airs, so that's so exciting. So I've been told before that I'm a creative person, and I wouldn't necessarily use that word. I feel like I'd use the word resourceful. I love trying new things, getting new ideas, and then sharing them again with others. I love baking, so I love finding new recipes, trying new meal ideas. I play the violin, and so I love finding new songs and new ways to express myself through music. And I collect quotes. This started when I was in 6th grade. I would take things that people would say that I thought were clever or thoughtful or wise, and I would write them down in the back of this little dinky notebook. Fast forward a couple years, when I was in 8th grade, I started typing them on the computer, and I would print them out when I had a page. I would put cute fonts and clip art and things like that, and I went through a lot of glue sticks. A few years ago, I decided to sort my quotes by topic. That took a while, and I made a book called A is for Adversity, and each quote was separated by subject, and the subjects were named by the letters of the alphabet. Definitely the teacher in me. So that's the brainchild for this podcast. Each episode will be one of those letters, and I will share a few quotes in each episode, but you will definitely hear my thoughts and beliefs and opinions woven through the words of the podcast. There's a quote by Robert Burns, and it says, "I pick my favorite quotations and store them in my mind as ready armor amidst the struggle of this turbulent existence." And that's definitely what quotes have done for me. I often think in quotes, and my friends say that I have a quote for every subject or topic. I am also a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, so you will hear that perspective throughout this podcast as well. I am nothing without my testimony of the gospel, so that has influenced who I am for sure. But all are definitely welcome to listen to this podcast. My goal for this podcast is at least 27 episodes, so that will be very apparent whether I reach that goal or not. I am starting this the week before 2021, so the intro plus the 26 letters of the alphabet will be 27 episodes, and if it goes really well, I'll add 26 more episodes, which will then be 53. So that's why I started the week before the end of the year. My all-time favorite podcast is Better Than Happy by Jody Moore. She went to the life coach school and is a master certified life coach, and I will definitely be sharing so many things that she has shared. And if you want to learn more, definitely look up the life coach school. I feel like the life coach school and Jody's podcast and Jody Moore herself have just gotten so big and so well known that it's kind of intimidating. So I just wanted to share some of her words in my own small way and maybe have it be a little more accessible or relatable to the people that live around me. I was introduced to the concept of a life coach several years ago. I was on my mission in Portland, Oregon, and there was a lady there named Dana Davis. We became fast friends, and all the missionaries loved to go to her because she was an emotional life coach. She'd help us work through our feelings and our thoughts and process them and really be able to move past things that were holding us back from serving God's children. So that was very helpful. A few years ago in Boise, I met Sherry Fernandes in our ward, and she is more of a goals and personal development life coach. She was a Relief Society teacher and would share lots of coaching concepts in her lessons, and I, again, fell in love with the idea of being a life coach. I was in a book club this year, early on in the first few months before quarantine, and that's when I was introduced to the Better Than Happy podcast by Jody Moore. When the person shared the podcast, it wasn't even about life coaching, but I soon found out she was a life coach. And you just know when things just fall into place, and it's almost like a sign that this is very important or something that you're supposed to do. So Jody Moore works more with thought work and changing the way you see the world and things like that. Working with a life coach helps you curate your life. And I just love that idea because we are in charge. We're the boss. We get to decide how our life is going to go no matter what our circumstances are. We get to choose how we feel about it and what we're going to do as a result, if we're going to reach our goals or if we're going to sit on the couch and watch Netflix. So as I talk in this podcast, I just want to offer you thoughts that will serve you better and help you be the best version of yourself. People have asked me several times before what my favorite quote is. That's very hard to answer, but right now my favorite quote is, "Though no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending." You're in charge. You get to do what you want. You are going to be the deciding factor of whether you reach your full potential or if you let it go to waste. So let's reach our potential. I'm going to end each podcast episode with some weekly wisdom. It's sort of a takeaway that you can mull over and think about for the next week before I talk to you again. So this week's quote comes from Christopher Barzak. I totally believe in giving credit where credit is due because all these quotes are others, not mine. And Christopher says, "Normal is just a setting on a washing machine." And I love that. Have a good week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.